Why is heritage important here in Vietnam or anywhere in the world? Heritage is the main channel through which we can connect the past and the future. I think all of us are concerned with creating a better life for ourselves, but also for the generations that will follow us. And we want them to have the opportunity to enjoy the culture, the heritage that we have received from our ancestors. So working in the field of cultural heritage in particular is a way of helping to ensure that future generations will have access to that heritage and will be not forced to or limited in their cultural choices. It's not for us as experts to dictate or to decide for people what they will do. But what we do have the responsibility as experts in the field of heritage is to ensure that people have the choice, that things are not lost to them, that they have the opportunity to practice this heritage and the tradition that they value, that they find to be important. So I think Vietnam is a very dynamic society, undergoing rapid changes. At any moment that societies are in the middle of that kind of rapid socioeconomic transformation, heritage takes on added importance because it provides a foundation, it provides a sense of identity, a sense of continuity for communities and for people who need to orient themselves, find their place within a rapidly changing world. As every country, Vietnam has a huge need for trained personnel who can work in this field of cultural heritage. It's particularly important at a moment when we have rapid socioeconomic transformation, that there be people who can work together with communities to safeguard their intangible heritage, their tangible heritage, all aspects of their cultural heritage. It's not unusual for Vietnam to feel that it has a shortage of skilled experts and personnel in that field. I think that's a common problem throughout the world. In many cases, this is very much a new field. It's not one that has a long history in most countries, and so therefore it becomes important that the people who are working in the field have the broadest possible knowledge of both their own history, the context here within Vietnam, but also what the international context for safeguarding heritage and protecting heritage should be. So it's important to strengthen those human resources. One thing that the heritage field globally has seen is the importance of mobilizing communities to safeguard their own heritage. And this is important both for community-based archaeology, it's important for community museums, it's important for safeguarding intangible heritage or protecting monuments, that the local people, the communities themselves, are the active force that are there on the front line taking care of their own heritage. And so one of the tasks in training experts and professionals now is teaching, implanting an orientation toward collaboration with communities. For many decades, in many parts of the world, the notion was experts could solve everything. Experts had all of the knowledge, and they were the ones that would be responsible for protecting cultural heritage. We know now that doesn't work. It's not a task for experts, it's a task for communities themselves. And as we train people to work in this field, we need to train them how can they work effectively side by side with local people, with local communities, so that the work of safeguarding, of protecting heritage is effective and produces the results. I think heritage takes in every aspect of people's lives. It's their material culture, it's their intangible culture, it's the architecture, the buildings, the homes that they live in, it's the way that they make their rice fields, or the way that they build their structures. So therefore it requires many diverse skills to be able to work effectively with communities in order to help them to safeguard their own heritage. One of the things we have seen in many countries in the world is that heritage studies can learn from many different disciplines. It's probably not an autonomous discipline in most countries, but one that has a home in different fields, whether it be in architecture, in environmental studies, in cultural studies, in anthropology, in folklore. There are many different disciplinary perspectives, and each disciplinary perspective brings a different orientation, brings a different set of values, a different set of fundamental assumptions and premises to the work of safeguarding heritage. So therefore, it becomes very important that we not work in isolation, that as a folklorist or an anthropologist, I also know what historians are doing or what archaeologists are doing, how they would approach a particular problem, how an environmentalist would look at a situation. I mentioned that I worked with Khmer people from Laos and Vietnam, and I learned a whole lot about bamboo, all the botany and the biology of bamboo, because that's essential to Khmer people in order to maintain their cultural heritage. Their homes are built from bamboo, their musical instruments are made from bamboo. Without bamboo, life is hard to imagine. And therefore, I had to learn the botany. What are the different names of the different species of bamboo? Because each one had different characteristics. Each one had a different name in Khmer and a different name in Latin. And so it was important to be able to equip myself with those skills very far from my own field of anthropology and folklore. If I wanted to study Khmer music, I had to learn first about the botany of bamboo. And so that's just an example where an interdisciplinary approach is imperative if we're going to be effective in helping communities to safeguard their own heritage.